Arise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for another episode of Cyberpunk Phoenix, where everything's going to go fine. We all coordinated outfits in-game, and we're going to be fine. We're going to look like a sports team, and nothing's going to happen that's bad. Everything's great. If you like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is by joining us on Patreon. Link down below for all kinds of behind-the-scenes exclusives, including our after shows. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, Simon here gets to do what the hell he wants to us. But two, more importantly, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to these wonderful, amazing faces you see here before you. That being said, I will turn things over to Simon to take us into Happy Fun Land.
Hello, is me. Now, before we head into the various activities that Team NPC has for today, let's just do a quick recap of what happened so far. They met originally with a man named Ken Parker, a retired, maybe fired ex-employee of Arasaka, had most of his implants and cyberware scavenged out of him by a group of booster gangers called the Maelstrom. He was left to die, but managed to flee the clinic where he was held at, met with the character of, oh my god, Zach, the tackle
Magnus.
doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Magnus, not Zach.
Yeah.
No,
you're
Magnus.
good.
And Magnus called a few of his friends, and together the entire group, so Proxy, Jules, and Ketch, with Magnus, decided to avenge Mr. Parker and go back to the Maelstrom Clinic and not only get Parker's cyberware back, which he desperately needed to live, but also sort of empty out the entire clinic, teach Maelstrom a lesson. They hired a private assassin from the Willow Sisterhood who came to help in exchange for pretty much everything that was in stock at the clinic. The group left after their job was well done, inventoried, cataloged, washed, cleaned all of the cyberware. They need to bring it to the Willow Sisterhood. But at the same time, we have this other side story with Jules, whose job is on the line if she doesn't manage to get Magnus hired for Biotechnica for reasons that are mostly unknown to the viewers right now. But Biotechnica is really interested in what Magnus is doing. And at the same time, third story, there's this sort of beginning of a campaign between Proxy, Ketch, and Mr. Lucius Rhine, who seems to be very interested in edge runners. Rhine is an up-and-coming grassroots type of politician who's been key in... we lost a Zach.
Oh, yeah, he just messaged.
Power outage, okay. But yeah, and they have a... Ryan was interested in what Proxy and Ketch were doing, and met with Ketch at a private garden atop the Atlantis Club, and catch stroke a deal with Ryan where he would meet the entire team under an alias later on at 2 a.m. at the Afterlife nightclub, the hot spot for edge runners in town. So that's where we're at today. Now, we have until 2 a.m. for that fated meeting. Jules, we'll begin with you today. Did you want to bring Magnus to the interview like right away, immediately before the Afterlife, or later on in the week?
I think we want the plan is to do our little excursion to Biotechnica before. So we would do it now. Basically drive his truck in and have Proxy and Catch in the vehicle trying to get into the briefcase that we have while Magnus and I go to his meeting. So I think we wanted to do that first, yeah.
All right. Zach not being there at the moment, what we'll do is we'll sort of skip over the interview for now. Shoot, even Magnus would have wanted to be there for the Willow Sisterhood.
Why don't we do the hacking thing?
We can do that. We can definitely do that. So then what we'll do, because you wanted to hack Biotechnica while the interview was going on, right?
Well, we wanted to hook the laptop that Jewel got to the network so that we could change the code on the briefcase to unlock. And may or may not, it depends on my willpower at the moment as Proxy, if she'll try to poke around in the net.
All right. So we'll start this episode in the car. Magnus is driving the taco truck with the three of you in the back, sitting around. The briefcase is between all of you. I'll remind you, there's a code that needs to be entered, but there's only one try left, and you don't know the password. You park in front of the Biotechnica campus. Basically, it's an area where you shouldn't park at all. Like it's this, just like a drop-off point for people, and then you have to keep driving. It's like a roundabout if you prefer. But the taco truck being, cloaked and invisible, Magnus hops it partly onto the sidewalk and activates the cloaking so that, if any other car passes by, they shouldn't hit you or anything. And that makes you roughly 100 feet away from the entrance door. So we're talking about 30 meters, little too far for an access point. You see there are benches. There's like a little park in between the roundabout and the entrance. And there's a lot of people walking to and fro the building on their agents. As you whip your own agents out to verify, you realize that there is a Wi-Fi access point that reaches all the way to the van at the moment. So anyone basically setting foot on the Biotechnica campus has access to the public Biotechnica Wi-Fi. Now, Proxy being a net runner, you would know that, if you're in a corpse Wi-Fi, it means they're probably spying on everything that you do, all of your net searches, all of your actions, everything you might type. They probably even have a keylogger.
Mm-hmm. With the Biotechnica laptop that we have, Proxy will open it and check to see if it automatically connects to this particular Wi-Fi network or not.
Sorry, repeat the first half of your sentence. My bad.
The Biotechnica laptop that Jewel brought, that was one of the other employees. Proxy is just going to open and check to see if it just automatically connects to the Wi-Fi that is in range.
It does.
Okay.
In fact, it doesn't even log in as a guest like anyone else would be doing. It automatically logs into the same network architecture that you would find if you were connected in the office.
Okay, interesting. Cool. So can I identify who this belongs to now that we have it connected?
Oh, yeah. It's a name of the person is Julian Armstrong.
Armstrong. Okay. And is Jewel and Magnus still in the van right now, or are they already heading towards the interview?
For now, unless if you want to have a scene with them, a dialogue, conversation, whatever, we'll say that they both are still in the car, but they're, if nothing happens, I wager Jules will bring Magnus to his interview.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's up to you guys. I'll let you call that if you're still in the vehicle or not.
I would say that we're still there.
Yeah.
That I'm kind of waiting for our appointment, and not so much. I don't want to just like idle around and loiter around the office building. So I'd probably
making sure
wait.
that you're good too.
Yeah. And Ketch is with us, or no? He is. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I am defending you in case you let out
That's
fire
right.
again.
Yeah, the fire. Fire's got a little mini extinguisher now. No.
No, he just has 4 slushies.
Great. Okay. So in this case, she'll look at Jewel. Do you know Armstrong? Good, bad, like shady, maybe, or something?
Would I know this individual with the laptop?
I'll say make a local expert check with a +2.
Okay.
Biotechnica is a big corporation, so like
Makes
aside
sense.
from just a name on an email signature, like if you've had any dealings with him, that would be the result of your local expert check.
I did not add the +2 to that. So would it be your home or just like local expert?
Your home.
Okay. So 17.
Okay, with a 17, you not only do you know of him, you know he's a level 2 IT specialist. His main area of work is hardware repairs. So he's normally the type of person he's not a team leader, but he's like the senior member of a team of technicians that will like actually open up the laptops and like repair physically what's inside. So more of a techie than a net runner, if you would, if he was an edge runner, that is. Julian is you remember he moved to Night City from Vancouver about 9 months ago. He was supposed to move in with his girlfriend. They broke up a week after he got here. And he decided to stay here because he had just gotten a job at Biotechnica and decided to give Night City a shot. Otherwise, the guy is pretty much keeps to himself. You've sat with him once at like the cafeteria with like other coworkers. So you've heard these tidbits about his life, but that's about it.
Armstrong, yes, the name does ring a bell. He works in IT, which I guess makes sense. I took this laptop from IT. He was a bit higher up, more of a tech kind of guy, more than anything else. Nice guy, but
So you think he would have reported that his laptop's missing?
could be likely if he's noticed. It's just interesting because I found this laptop at an empty desk. I'd assumed it was maybe somebody who was recently let go or something. So it could be likely that he might report it. If he hasn't noticed yet, since I just took it today, he probably will soon.
Okay. Proxy's gonna locate if there's any location, like Find My Device kind of deal on this laptop and deactivate it, if there is.
There is none.
Okay.
Though you find a like in all of the like programs that ran recently, one of them did end a few minutes ago. Looking it up, you realize that it's basically a kill switch for the laptop. If the laptop is removed from the Biotechnica campus or network, I should say, for an extended period of time. Apparently, the period of time itself is dependent on the role, their permissions, and whatnot. But basically, the laptop would brick itself.
But it's not bricked right now, so we got it back in time.
Yeah, you went back to the campus in time, but there's no timestamp on it that would let you know how long you can take it out and bring it back in.
Okay. I know that we're not technically in the net, but is there a way for me while I'm going into the program to change this passcode on the briefcase to kind of essentially avoid my steps through being like saved or visible on the laptop after the fact, or just something I have to go back and get rid of?
If
Cover
you
my tracks
wanted,
essentially.
yeah, if you wanted to cover your track, we'll do a simple net run.
Okay.
I'll ask you to make a cloak check.
Okay.
Here we go.
And that cloak check is going to determine how well your tracks are hidden.
Okay.
How good your cloak looks.
So it's basically my interface role? Is that...
Interface, and if you have any programs that allow you to cloak.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't remember if I do. Let me look. Negative. I do not. That's okay.
Okay.
I'll just do this roll. I did make a quick macro for it. 14. I got
14.
a 10.
All right. Well,
I
that's
rolled
good.
10. Do I explode the dice?
Oh, yes. If you rolled a 10, yes, you explode the die.
And a 6.
So 20.
Yas.
So anyone who would like to learn that you've tampered with this laptop would need to roll a 20 or above.
Okay.
On a D10. Look, the world's best net runner has a plus 10.
Uh-huh.
All right. It is almost impossible.
I like how you said that. Needs to roll a 20 or higher on a D10. Yeah, no.
They'd have to be fully kitted out or have some kind of programs to help them probably. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm going to open up the program that's relevant to this briefcase based on the number that we have, like the briefcase number, to find it so that we can reset or change the password to something that we can use.
You can set it at whatever you want. It's a string of 8 digits.
8 digits.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I'm trying to think of something that only Proxy, so Proxy would remember. Okay. Let's see. It's gonna be a date, but I'm trying to figure out. Like, I'm coming up with a random series of numbers essentially.
It's
All right,
it's 5318008.
What?
That's how
I get it.
That's how you know you're old and a dude. Thanks, Zach.
531800. Oh, boo.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome, everybody.
Jewel, just get out now. Just get out of this vehicle.
There's a text message. Leave.
Yeah.
Magnus just takes an old frying pan and whacks Ketch over the head with it.
What's the year we're in again?
2045.
45. Okay. Okay, so it's gonna be 0209 2045.
Okay.
Not that I don't think it matters, but cool. All right, so that's a new number.
I still say you should have gone with mine.
I appreciate your input, but I feel like if anybody got a hold of this, maybe they would be thinking along the same lines as you, and that's not super helpful.
I don't think anyone thinks along the same lines as me.
Fair
I
assumption.
mean, I got it within a few seconds. So
I respect that,
Anyway.
Doc.
Yeah.
Can we open the briefcase? Can I open the briefcase? Or do you want to, Jewel? I mean,
You did all the work, so the honor is yours.
all right.
Are
If
you-
something
are you
like
sure?
explodes,
Yeah. Wait.
Okay,
Is there
okay,
a way for
okay.
you to verify that's not going to happen before you open it?
I mean,
or that it's
Just
not going to
open
send a
it.
signal in saying,
The
"Hey, this is
anticipation.
valuable
That's-
briefcases now."
that's fair. Let me go back to the laptop and see if there's any information
Yeah.
about this particular briefcase now that we have the number and I have access to the network and proxy search.
You search the Biotechnica database for this item file. Basically everything at Biotechnica, down to even the screws on desks that hold desks together, have been cataloged.
Of course, they have.
Everything is accounted for, and of course, theft is punishable by termination of employment and all that.
Termination of employment.
Cool.
Termination in big words
You
of
mean
employment in very few
contribution to
words.
fertilizer.
And there's a little asterisk, and then it says like,
Yeah.
correlate
Yeah.
by employment in your life.
Oh no.
When you try to access what the briefcase is, it says that it is redacted and that you do not possess the required permissions to view this item.
We'll see about that, Biotechnica. She's gonna try to get elevated permissions on the network. So if I have to jack in, just let me know.
You're gonna have to jack in.
Damn it. Okay. No, that's good. It's just bad for everybody else because we have corruption bars. Okay. Cool. Well,
So
I guess I'm going in.
it's an actual net run. Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna
You're going to net run against Biotechnica.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like my best
Are
idea
you-
ever.
Are you sure this is a good idea?
What could go wrong?
Do you want to know what's inside the briefcase without me opening it for the risk of whatever happens when I open it?
The last part of that sentence is what's got me worried. The risk of whatever happens,
I
Are
mean,
you
there's
gonna,
a risk with everything, but no risk, no reward.
Is there a way you can, just like go up to the door of the net of Biotechnica's net and just like look in and see how bad it is? Do you have to like go in a full sprint? I don't know how it works.
It's more like an elevator.
All right,
love
can you
this
like
data.
stop at
I have to
floor
get on
one?
the elevator and stop at a floor to see what's on the floor
Yeah.
because they generally don't like to label it unless I start poking around and then I'm all like, okay, well, what's on these floors? And
I don't
I
mean
mean,
to,
like if you guys tell me that you don't want me to, then I won't. But
Is it the type of thing that you could, like, when you go in, is it all in, success or failure, or can you pull out at a moment when it gets?
it depends on who else is in the net.
I have a question.
Hmm.
Jewel, no offense, but you don't really look like someone who's very well versed in theft. Is that accurate?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
you're right.
When you say I stole this laptop, do you mean like you took it and no one saw you and there's no record of you stealing it? Or is there a lot of records and like video evidence and people that know you have it?
Well, my boss did see me with it and asked me about it. So, and there's probably some people that know that I have it. But you know what? It could have just been a mistake. I happened to pick up the wrong laptop at IT, and oops, silly me.
See, what I'm very curious about or very afraid of, or I don't know what the word is, but if this goes badly, which, no offense to Proxy, it could, and they trace it back to that laptop, and then you were the last person to check out that library book.
I see.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is a risk.
Uh-huh.
Well, how long do we have in here, Jewel? I mean, with my truck and her connected to this. Like, when do we have to leave? Do you know?
Soon. And the meeting will probably take some time. There's, paperwork and things to be taken care of. So we do have time
I'm just thinking if
to perform this.
Proxy goes in and let's say we're up in the meeting and her hack goes real wrong and they figure out, let's say worst case scenario, they figure out that what Proxy's doing, and since she's in my truck, they allude that we're in with her and we're in the penthouse of Biotechnica on the 500th floor. I imagine that might be a bad thing. So I'm actually thinking if Proxy's going to do whatever Proxy's going to do, that maybe she should try to start and finish it before we even go up, in a perfect world scenario. So that way, if something goes wrong, then I can just back us the heck out of here.
And
I mean, you don't want to try the route of...
Here's another idea.
I don't know.
Yeah, come back when there's no one else here, like minimal staff, right? Okay. Cover a night, less people to look around, that kind of thing.
We could just do this at a different time. That's true, where we're not with
like,
Proxy, and if something goes wrong, we can.
And might make more sense for me to have the truck parked near Biotechnica, depending on how this interview goes.
That's true.
I don't know.
All right, so perhaps we hold off for now.
I mean, I could always just open the briefcase.
That's
also another option. And then I can come back later to do the other things anyway, because I kind of want to. Or I won't. Or I won't.
I don't know. I'm actually, if we're scared of it, blowing up, or I don't really think it will. But
I don't think it's gonna either.
I don't think it will.
Worst case scenario, whatever's inside
we'll just
gets
drive
destroyed.
out. Or that, yeah. I think you should open it right now. And if it does send a signal to them, then...
Well, why don't I just take another glance once over on the case and see if there's anything that sticks out to me, because we weren't really focused on, physical security on the thing. So let's just do that. Just carefully examine said briefcase. As if I'm explaining to somebody what I'm going to do.
Do you have any explosive proficiencies? Like, what's your skill at what's it called again?
I've got a lot of techie skills, but I don't know about that one.
Demolition. No, wouldn't be demolition. Sorry, would be electronic or security tech.
I have electronic security tech, and I have cartography. I've got cyber tech, basic tech. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go for security tech.
Okay.
Because even if there was to be a bomb inside, I feel like demolition would be to disarm the bomb.
Right.
But to find out if there's a trigger for it when you open the suitcase, that would be security tech.
I'm going to use 2 luck. So I'm going to roll this and then +2. 19. It's a 19.
19. The briefcase is not trapped.
Sweet. Okay, guys, good news. It's not going to probably explode. I'm like 99.99999% confident in that.
All right.
Okay.
So, like, I don't know, just hold your breath or something.
Yeah, I think we should open it. And
Yep.
if it ends up bad news, whatever, if anything, hopefully it gives us leverage or, insider information when we go up or something. I don't know.
In my examination from a cyber tech perspective, was there anything else that like stood out as far as that goes, like other than a trigger? Like
the briefcase is actually very, very simple in how protected it is.
Because it's probably old tech or something. I mean, it looks like it's probably not more advanced.
It's at least 25 years old. And while there could have been, a whole, security thing around it and whatnot, sometimes the best way to keep something secure is to have such a basic
Right.
Basic security measures that people wouldn't think about that in the first place.
Got it. Okay, moment of truth, guys. Ready?
I say go for it.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
go for it. Yep.
You open up the locks on the briefcase, lift the lid, and inside, covered in foam, nestled comfortably in this suitcase, this briefcase, is a vial about 6 inches long by half an inch wide. It is stoppered by a metal lid that is almost like a twist cap on a beer bottle. Inside is this thick, silvery liquid, almost like silver paint, except that it glistens in the light,
Like mercury, maybe.
like mercury. Yeah.
The heck is this? Is that? She like kind of examines around. Does it look like the vial is intact, as in like not cracked?
Not cracked at all.
Okay.
And it
You can
seems
pick it
like if you just look at the vial, even without touching it, like the glass is thick enough that it should survive like a accidental drop off a counter, for example.
Can I take a look at this? I
Yes.
think this actually might
your
be
wheelhouse.
exactly what I was going to say. Just give me a second to look up my Cyberpunk official rulebook.
What are you looking
Wow,
at?
is that what you name your doctor's manual? That's such a weird thing.
Yeah. It's a long story.
All right.
I'm looking up. So the first use of my cyberware, we haven't really used aside from Proxy, I think.
Oh yeah.
And then some of you have like the inner agents and things like that.
Yeah, I used my scrambler.
Yep. Oh yeah, that too. I did pick up a chemical analyzer, which is let me just get to the page real quick. And I can do that for you. Come on. Yep, there you go. All right, 359. Okay. When installed, allows the user to test substances to find their precise chemical composition as an action, identifying most substances instantly from a wide database of samples. It doesn't say exactly how I have to do that.
It
uses my chipware socket.
Yeah, so it's linked to Neuralware. What I would say is you would need to open the vial, get some out, and just run like a few basic tests to, eliminate or narrow your search. But you basically have like the entire database of
chemicals
in your brain.
Interesting.
So long as you're able to, just by looking at it right away, you're like, I'm pretty certain it's mercury or something similar. But it could be something else. You would have to just run a few tests. Like, is it conductive? For example, does it react to heat? Does it, is it hydrophobic, for example? All of that stuff.
I don't want to open it yet. And I say to the others, I think given that it's been in a briefcase and it's just been in foam, it's safe to at least pick up and, move around. I'm not going to shake it. And I'll just see how much I can garner from this without even looking at, or without even, getting any out. I don't know if oxygen does anything to it. So just what I'll do is I'll take a look. I also have a 400 times zoom optics, micro optics, if that helps. But I'm going to try to assess as much as I can what this is without actually opening the vial itself, which I understand might not get me a lot, but
you zoom in with your you said it's 400, right?
400 times. Yeah, it's micro optics. That's another cyberware I have.
I have that too.
Let me look. Micro optics. Yeah, it just says microscope providing user up to 400 times magnification. So
Then.
I see a universe inside the liquid.
I have that one
Actually,
too, and I
with-
only ever use it for surveillance.
No, with 400.
It's like that scene from Men in Black where it keeps like going into like then it's marbles. It's just aliens playing marbles.
They are tiny. You have to zoom in at maximum capacity of your
Maximum
implant.
capacity. Yeah.
But you notice that swimming in this like thick liquid is a quadrillion tiny nanobots.
Oh.
They compose probably 90% of the liquid.
Okay. What is their shape and form? Are they almost like mites? Are they more
They are they
bacterial?
look
Are they spermazoid?
yeah, they look like spermazoid with tiny arms.
or yeah, like tadpoles kind of.
Kind of. So there's the head
Interesting.
and like the rest of the body. Of course, it doesn't move and wave because it's not living, it's not organic. But right behind the head, you have like these two little arms with tiny pincers.
Interesting. So kind of like an ant tadpole sperm thing.
Yeah.
Nano sperm. That's what I'm calling this. Okay. Well, I'm glad I got that installed. And as I look back at the rest of you, you guys see my pupil kind of retract. There are very tiny nanobot type, bacteria type things, tadpole things, nano things,
What do you think
nanomites.
they do?
I don't know.
I sense an experiment down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not entirely the liquid. They're in the liquid, which, yeah,
Some
it's
kind of
interesting. It's a vessel.
What, like, yeah, well,
I don't know if
yeah,
you're supposed to
it's
drink
containment, maybe.
it or
Maybe
how they're controlled or their purpose.
they must be using it for maybe some sort of life that they're working with. I mean, Biotechnica is known to make all sorts of artificial life through plants and all other types of things in a biodome. Animals.
Hey,
I don't know.
Simon, what would Proxy know with her background in different tech about nanotechnology specifically?
Before you not before you start thinking about it. I mean, the moment Magnus begins to mention it, you sort of try to remember, okay, wait, what kind of tech would have Biotechnica been working on, past? Because nanotech, nanotech is somewhat common these days in 2045. Like if you go to high-end hospitals, that's what they're going to use to stitch up wounds and the like. But 25 years ago, these things were rather rare. And you're trying to remember, and you are jolted out of your intellectual processes as you are jolted out of your seat, and so is everyone, as a limousine, crashes into the invisible truck.
Oh.
You were parked halfway on the sidewalk to, be careful and everything, but it seems like the driver of the limo decided to do the same thing, and the taco truck being invisible, they just they rear-ended you. Thank you for that corruption bar.
Works. All right.
The driver of the limo comes out.
Has my
hat off
truck uncloaked because of this?
Nope. He's looking like hands on his hips, looking at the front of his car that's been like dented.
Oh no.
And then looks around. He doesn't see anything. And you can see him from like your cameras around the truck. Like he's about to put his hands on it.
Okay.
He's trying to feel what could have. He looks like a bad mime.
Does anyone have any Can we just bribe this guy? Doesn't he?
Why don't we just
I'm
leave?
He
broke.
has a limousine.
Okay.
We have crammed into a taco
Sure,
truck.
I can. Here, I try to
Just drive.
drive off as Proxy suggested.
Anti-conflict.
Make a,
NPCs
make
don't
an
have bribe
initiative
money.
check.
Initiative check, you said?
Yeah, basically
Okay.
it's going to be you against him.
Yep.
If he acts before you, he's going to be able to touch the car before you have enough time to move it. Because I
Looking-
figure you're not like putting pedal to the metal and screeching your tires as you
Yeah.
move away.
Just trying to. Yeah. I mean, right before I do this, with that cursory glance or looking through the cameras, does his limousine have any labeling that determines, like, if he works for a certain company or something?
He seems to, the limo itself has a little sticker at the bottom right of the windshield with the phone number of a company. You would have you've lived in Night City. You would have seen them sometimes. It's a private like limousine rental company. So he's
Okay.
probably here to pick someone up.
Sure. All right. I'll roll initiative. I don't particularly care at the moment if he sees me, but I also
We
got a
both have a 9, but
Ooh.
your reflexes are higher than mine because you have a plus 5. I have a plus 4.
correct.
So
Actually, yes. No, you're right.
by a millisecond, you move the car forward. His hands just touch nothing. Takes a step back, looks at the limo again, and then you see him like drop on all four and try to feel around on the floor, like on the ground. Like, is there an invisible fire hydrant or something?
Hmm.
And he's patting everything, and you see Jules, you recognize this person. She is the head of HR for Biotechnica. She comes out of
That's
the
your friend.
building with
Yeah.
a briefcase in one hand, an umbrella under the other, and she's walking briskly towards the limousine. And when she approaches the limousine, you hear her kind of shout at the driver, like, "What the hell is this? I'm not going to be driven around with a beaten up limo. I paid for the luxury package. What is this? You're going to go back. What's your
Linda.
name, sir? What's your name? I need to talk to your manager."
Oh, her name should be Karen. I will look to the group and that
I feel
limo
bad
that
for this guy.
yeah, because he is in for a world of pain, as that is our head of HR, Linda.
Oh, she looks like a Linda.
I have
Linda,
a
huh?
wonderful idea.
Me too. Siphon her entire account. What?
What?
That was
Yeah,
not.
that works.
No,
How does
I
that-
didn't say that out loud.
How does that
I would
help in
never
this
actually
moment?
do that. No.
I feel look. I feel bad. I kind of disoriented myself as to where we parked.
If you're
So
thinking
as
about
we're-
getting out, don't.
No. As we're driving away, can I see? Do we overhear maybe like what his name is? Can I see the license plate? I just want any sort of identification. I linger for a few moments with the invisible car, like in the street.
Yeah, the license plates are in the front and the back of the car.
Okay.
So even if you don't take a moment to note it down, like, you have it on your footage. So
Right.
you have access to the license plate. You don't hear his name, though. He mumbles a few things. The man seems to be barely speaking English. He has a thick Polish accent.
Okay.
And he tries to say that it's not his fault. There was something. He doesn't know what it is. He's going to fix
Poor
it.
guy.
To just, and the man is probably like pushing 70.
Okay.
Looking at him, like she's trashing a man who should have been retired.
I won't forget him. All right. Well, are we? I spaced out. I thought we were in the garage already, but apparently my view of environments is very bad today.
I think I mentioned it when your power cut out.
Yeah. But I guess we know what's inside the briefcase. We can learn more about it later. I guess.
I can
Yeah.
also do some research while you guys are inside.
Wait, 1 second.
Catch.
Before we, no, no testing. Don't test this. Don't
What?
you don't open this. So
I'm not.
you said
We're
we'll test it
not.
later. Don't do that.
Well,
and you don't open things. This.
Yes. No.
Listen,
okay.
I work in the world of buying, selling, and stealing bought and sold things and reselling. Neither here nor there. This box, the way it's all set up with the packaging and the foam and the thingy, where it fits just perfectly inside there, that's not how you package something that you have a lot of. That's how you package something you have one of.
prototype.
Yes. So no
Perhaps.
testing, no opening. Because this is probably a prototype, and if this was a prototype, it might not be like the nanotech that's out here now. Because this is
It's-
25
But they
year
lost
old.
the technology.
Right. So
Or
we have
maybe
no
it's
idea what
that.
it does.
Maybe. It's
So, hell, you could open the top and
Maybe it's
this
good.
liquid goop boys could
Could make
just
you
become
superhuman.
sentient robots that fly into the sky. We don't know. So don't do that.
that. Okay, but what if we
We're-
did it in like
we're
a
with you.
contained environment?
How do you get the lid back on the box?
You go. Okay, so there's like these quarantine type like cases, right? And you stick your hands into these protective gloves that are inside of the cases, and then you open it, and then it's like the thing.
Do you have one?
I'm sure we could find,
one.
You're
Oh,
the
the-
procurer of things. You
I'm the
could
guy who
find
finds
one.
things, and I don't know where to find one. You know where I'd find one? And he points at Jewel.
Hospital.
Yeah.
Hospital.
No. What?
I was gonna say-
Biotechnica.
I would
Yeah.
find them
Well,
at
she could just carry
Biotechnica.
one out
And
with her.
they would be very, 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 very expensive. Very, very expensive.
Okay, so we go into a lab facility at night under the cover of darkness. Okay, ready?
Yep,
Hear me out.
uh-huh.
We got snacks. We
Yep.
got like all black on.
Oh, snacks. I'm suddenly
Yes.
paying attention again.
Yes.
Wait,
And
no,
then we
look,
go.
Listen,
We go
you
in.
just
And then
you just make it up and then tell someone else what it does and then sell it to them and then get away before they figure it out.
what if it's like the doom and destruction of everything? You're gonna just make it up and sell it to somebody? How responsible is that?
We should know what's valuable, but we have somewhere to be right now. Hold on, I'm so
Yeah.
disoriented today. We have to,
We
we're
have
doing this job interview
meeting
thing, but weren't we gonna dilute
soon.
the goods to the Willow Sisterhood, and also weren't we gonna do something else?
Yes,
Oh, the
you're right.
afterlife. Did we
Yes,
already do that?
yes.
No, that's at 2 a.m.
No, that's later.
That's
Okay.
past
You need
my
some
bedtime.
sleep.
I
You
do.
need- you need-
I
you
mean,
need
I was just
sleep.
operating on. He's right there.
Yeah, I
You
know.
see Ken Parker's just
He's
snoring in the
old,
back.
he's old.
So,
Okay, well,
so what?
Okay.
Where are we actually go? Where am I driving? I parked here outside, so you can take a look. Are we doing the interview now?
Yes, we're doing it
Okay.
now. Yeah, we just go in and you guys, you get a guest pass and then we park and then they can wait and
Mhm.
we can go and do the interview
Yeah.
and that's how it goes.
Okay.
It'll be fine. Just don't get into any trouble, Proxy and Catch.
what? I have no idea what you're talking
How would
about.
we even get into
Totally fine.
invisible
Here.
truck?
Doing things, nothing, doing nothing.
You have snacks. I have 2 more slushies.
I
so-
have snacks left though, and
That's good because we might be a while. So
so I won't get bored and try to do something. I got it. Okay.
yeah. All right, let's go do the interview and see how it goes. Maybe when Magnus returns, he will have a new fancy Biotechnica badge. So
It would be helpful because then you would have access to said equipment needed to test said
technically,
vial. Maybe
he would because
Yes.
my department is R&D. We don't do that lab stuff. He's a med tech. He
Yeah,
would have
so-
access to that stuff.
Magnus, all I'm saying is it would be in the best interest of the entire team if you were to take whatever offer they give you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Plus,
yeah.
it gets Jewel not murdered. How are you going to
That's
have
it.
an interview if the head of HR just left?
I don't think
That's a
HR interviews people. They do like the boring stuff.
The acquiring
the
people.
file.
Probably going to talk to the person
They do
who's
the
actually interested. in it.
Paperwork, right?
The paperwork, yes. But
Paper
my boss
pushers.
assumed we would be talking to, yes.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Um,
Good
side
luck. I hope you do well in
question
your interview.
for Simon. Back about the mites or the nanobots.
Mhm.
Were they moving of their own accord, or were they inactive?
They were inactive. No, they were moving slowly, swimming, just
Okay.
doing their thing.
Mm-hmm. All right, interview
Good luck
time.
on your interview.
Yeah, thanks.
You
And
got
I
this.
will
Don't
drive
forget,
us.
if you say no, they'll kill you both and make you fertilizer.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't really have a choice. But you do have
Not
leverage.
the worst fate.
Oh,
least I'm
right.
useful.
Don't forget to print out your resume in triplicate. One for you, one for them, and just in case someone else is in the interview. That's
triplicate.
always great to have.
Nobody wants that.
What?
This is my resume.
We just transfer via agent now. I mean, it's 2045. We don't print out resumes anymore.
I mean, it makes you stand
Just
out
saying.
in the crowd. You have paper copies.
We're revolutionizing, and paper waste is bad at Biotechnica. We don't like to waste paper, so that's not a good idea.
Whatever.
So his name is Mr. Cook. He's the regional manager. He really likes yoga and health food. So just
right.
some things to keep in mind. He drinks coffee every morning. Just some things to know about him for the interview. It'll go fine.
And
Okay.
don't mention anything about us.
Yeah.
No, though he does technically know all of you. We've been kind of watching the group.
Wait, what?
Whoa,
Whoa. Roll back. What?
Well, I mean, he doesn't know your name, but he knows that there's some folk who I've been talking to, some street riffraff,
Riffraff?
a fixer, a
Riffraff
net
when his
runner.
email gets all fucked up.
So I don't think he knows the names, but he knows.
We've upgraded from scum to riffraff. I love it.
I was say I've been called worse, so that's fine.
Anyway, shall we? Shall we, Magnus?
Yes, we shall.
Good luck, guys.
So
Want
I
a
would.
snack for Rob?
What do you got?
Kibble. And
She
more
opens
kibble.
her bag. There's this assortment of various snacks.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
you have what is it again? Let me grab one of them at random that are popular.
This is where all of her money goes. Is just
It's just the snack.
There should be like Gushers version of Smash, the drink.
Oh my god! Inside.
Like Smash Bites.
I want that.
There, I just
no, but
invented
she has a bunch of Schwab.
That's the same thing. Smash bites.
Cotton swabs.
Yeah, Schwab is Gushers.
Oh,
But they
Oh.
are shaped like fluorescent cockroaches.
nice.
I would totally eat that.
Great.
Of course they are. Why wouldn't
Lovely.
They come in 4 different flavors and colors. There's
Yes.
Schwab blue, grape, ketchup, and lime.
they be? The
Lime
blue
the
one is
best.
actually
lime
cockroach
is
flavored.
no lime is the best for
Schwab.
sure.
You want some Schwab?
I like how even in 2045 the flavor is blue, and we all know what that flavor is. It's blue, grape, lime. Like, okay,
Yeah.
Blue.
what does that taste like? It's blue,
Ketchup.
blue
It's
or
blue.
red. You know?
Yeah, so I would pull us. I take some Schwab, and I pull us into the Biotechnica garage. I also have another question that will hopefully influence my decision making before we go in. Is it illegal to have fresh food?
No,
like,
it's not.
okay. So what's though the general like public opinion on having access to organic garden grown vegetables?
You are either extremely wealthy or extremely lucky. Regardless, having fresh food on you that isn't like synthetically made
Yeah.
it sets you apart from everyone else.
And a company like, or I guess I'll ask Jewel and then see if Jewel would know. I'm thinking if I want to go for the angle of, bringing in some sort of, salad or something as a gift. but I don't know if that would put me in their I don't know what the saying is. Put me good in their eyes, or if it would good graces, or if it would offend them.
I think it would be impressive, actually, as we are trying our best to work on our own organic products, some would say. So the fact that you're able to procure this on your own is, I think, would be impressive.
I do like making a statement too. Walking through Biotechnica with a fresh tomato salad sounds good, like a good time. All right, sure. And I'll pick some stuff from my garden and fashion together. I don't know what I have. I think I have tomatoes at least, but if I have like fruits as well, like grapes or whatever, either fruit salad or salad. But I'll just chop something up, and as we pull in, assuming that process is not also sabotaged in some way, shape, or form.
No,
Going into the building.
For both Proxy and Catch, oh God, will the taco truck smell good after they've gone?
You know, we've been doing like a bunch of stuff, and you've offered him so many snacks. He's never offered us so much as like a leaf.
Oh, we got other things. We'll have our own garden soon. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm just saying, like,
you know what I was thinking? Like, there's like this building that I like to go to that's in the middle of nothing. Like, there's nobody around because it's like a no-go area.
I'd like a salad.
But we could totally put like a garden, because there's this spot where the sun comes in, and it helps with the growing.
And the hills sing.
Yeah. And then what we do is then we have a garden, and we don't give him tomatoes. What?
Are you really salty about this?
I mean,
did someone say salt? That's a great idea. And I grab some salt and salt.
He just has salt lying around.
Yeah, salt actually is really good when you don't have alternative dressing options.
What? I would like to offer this.
I think we're ready to go.
It's
Catch,
fine.
were you saying something?
No, have a good day on your interview. I hope your salad's great.
Yeah, I hope it is too. Don't mess with that. I point at the nano tube.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Not gonna do anything.
Also, only net run if something goes bad and we call you and say, "Hey, go in" or something. But
not like your
extraction should be good.
Team, but okay. Man, probably have better luck just running.
All right.
So the two of you head out from the garage, take the elevator up to the lobby so that Magnus can get his guest ID card. You wait for Mr. Cook to come and find you. Takes a good 10 minutes before you see him approach. He has his data pad in one hand, well dressed, just slightly better than usual. You can see that he styled his hair this morning, and approaches the two of you, extends a hand out for Magnus, and says, "Welcome to Biotechnica. My name is Cook, Mr. Cook."
Shake his hand. Magnus. They call me Taco Duck.
That might need to be revisited.
Mm-hmm. I brought a salad. A fruit salad.
Oh. May I?
Of course.
He takes the container and looks at it. These aren't synthetic fruits.
No, they're not.
You, Magnus, sir, have got a green thumb. I see that Jules' ability at evaluating people is once again top-notch.
Thank you, sir.
Now, if you would like to follow me, I will bring you to the interview room. Jules, do you want to come with?
If I'd be happy to, if I'm allowed.
Yeah. If only to, settle the nerves of any potential new employee.
Of course.
I would certainly feel more comfortable.
We're here at Biotechnica, and he starts to spiel as he like walks you to the elevator. But says, here at Biotechnica, we place the utmost importance on our employees' mental
I
health.
ignore everything he says, and I'm just looking around the building, kind of imagining myself if I were to actually be here.
It is sterile. It's white, washed in light. What few colors there are used as accents. Minimalist decor.
They don't even know color theory. Oh
no. And yeah, it feels, especially when you compare it to your life on the street and what you do, like this entire place seems soulless. You hop on into the glass elevator. He's still talking, hasn't stopped.
Yep.
Yeah. Jules has heard this speech countless times. He, as the elevator is almost up to the 18th floor where your interview will be, he just turns to Jules and asks, so this laptop issue, was it resolved?
Yeah, everything seems to be back to working again. I got my password restored, so everything's all good.
Great. Didn't want you to lose any of your hard work, you know.
I know. That would be devastating if somehow I lost that. So thankfully, everything is all back to normal now.
Good. We like back to normal. We like normal. He leads the two of you into a windowless room. There's a soft music, like elevator music, playing in the background. There's probably like a speaker hidden in one of the walls. The walls themselves are painted like white with specks of gray, but superimposed on the walls are these like plexiglasses that are used as like sound dampeners probably, but it doesn't really muffle sound. Anyway, it's a look. There is a corner office, corner desk, I should say, and with 3 chairs, one behind and 2 in front. Of course, the one behind the desk is a leather high back chair, and the other 2 are just these like average IKEA, basic chairs with no cushions or anything.
One of the only corporations to survive this long.
Yes.
It's IKEA. Yeah.
He sets down the salad on the desk and puts his pad in front of him as he settles down and says, "We'll be ready to start the interview in a few minutes. We're just waiting for someone else from HR to be here. We like to make sure that we have, multiple points of view, and that things are copacetic."
Will Linda be joining us or somebody else?
It won't be Linda. She's too busy right now. No, we got a we've started dealing with a recruiting firm lately. It allows us to cut into our HR costs by about 33%. And it ensures that we have an unbiased point of view. Since they do not work for Biotechnica, they will evaluate a new employee solely on the merit of their proficiencies.
Very nice.
And the person walks in, stone cold, no expression in their face, buzz cut blonde hair with a blonde goatee, wearing a 3-piece suit that seems to be just one size too tight. The one thing that you both notice is the bulge in the person's jacket, shaped like a pistol. Yeah, you thought I was going to say something else? But yes, this person is clearly armed. and both of their hands are synthetic. You notice that it's not, they're not covered with synth skin, they're covered in chrome. And he stays up, just coughs a bit, stays still, looks to Cook and says, "You may begin." And then he turns back and stares at Magnus, like
I
he's
stare back.
waiting for you.
You want some fruit salad?
No, thank you.
Hmm.
And he immediately puts his iPad up, data pad up, and types a few words. Mr. Cook immediately launches into like the regular interview process and like stuff that you've heard countless times, Magnus, when tried to look for a job at a hospital or a clinic. And it's only after about a half hour of this entire exchange that he really goes into like the reason why he asked you here. He asked Joel to come and get you. He says, today's food market is ever changing. With the catastrophe that hit Night City a few decades ago, it's only normal that everyone is looking outside of the city for sources of food. A lot of people have started growing their own. And, well, let's just say that it's led to a lot of unfortunate accidents. In fact, 17.8% of all new admissions in Night City Hospital in the emergencies were because of food poisoning incidents. Many of these people were actually trying to grow their own food and they didn't do it right and they ended up poisoning themselves. Just a simple, he motions to the salad, a simple grape in your kibble might be enough to turn your entire digestive tract upside down. See, that's the thing. The people of Night City have been used and accustomed to synthetic food for years. Now, us at Biotechnica, we're trying to make this perfect hybrid of lab-grown organic food.
Magnus's face kind of like twists up just a tiny bit. Yeah.
And we need, well, we've hired botanists, we've hired, generational farmers, we've hired professional food grower, the words escape me. But all that to say, we've never found the one. That key that we're looking for, that special someone who not only would recognize the good that Biotechnica is trying to achieve, but also that has the know-how and the skills to help us get there. And while this is happening, we'll just go back to catching Proxy for a moment. Because half an hour ago, when Magnus and Tracy entered the room, Proxy and Catch, you lost their signal.
Yep. Well, Proxy would be pacing if
They do not realize this inside the room. To them, their phone still works and everything. But to you, if you try to just look at, are they online or offline, they've all turned offline.
Okay, so what do we do?
Snuck it.
Do we storm the castle? What do we do?
No, what? Okay, you in what army? I mean, I'm bold, but not stupid.
Okay, so what? Okay, so worst case scenario, we activate
Signal
the spider
blocker.
robot guy and set all of Biotechnica as the bad.
Whoa. Okay. Who's keeping who in check here? Okay.
You said what army? I feel like a
hold
giant
on.
robot.
Pump the brakes
What?
for
I
just a
don't-
second. It's
Okay.
most likely a signal blocker or something.
Uh-huh.
Because they probably, I mean, if we're talking like C-level exec they're probably going to want no outgoing signals that aren't authorized. So maybe it's something along those lines. So let's not panic just yet.
Okay.
As Proxy's still pacing back and forth.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not been that long. And interviews take a long time, I think. I've never had one, but I'm guessing they take a long time. Right.
I guess. I don't know.
Have you ever had an interview? Have you done an interview? Do you know what it's? I mean,
No, I buy and sell stolen items.
I don't really. I just tell people.
Not really an interview process.
Actually, people just call me, but like, never mind. Okay, so no, this is fine. But while we're here,
yeah,
if I got into the network, maybe I could find out about the security, and confirm if.
I mean.
And then while I'm over there, I, like 2 birds, 1 stone kind of deal. Just kind of like look for the information.
You know what? Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna take this, and he like closes the case, and slides it down towards the door, and I'm gonna sit, and he sits on the case, and like puts his feet up on whatever is around that area, and I'm just gonna sit here, and I'm gonna take a hat, and he just like pulls down something over the top of his face, and I'm gonna loudly eat this snack. And even if the snack doesn't make noise, he's making noise. And whatever happens while I'm over here enjoying a delicious snack happens.
She slides the laptop over and quietly opens it.
It's very loud on this side of the.
It's like you're dispensing whipped cream in your mouth. You just that's what that sounds like.
Okay.
Perfect.
We're going in.
All right. You jack into the laptop, into the access point.
Yes.
You are immediately catapulted to this wondrous land. It looks like the forest from a fairy tale.
Oh, this is my jam.
The sun is high in the sky. You can hear the birds. Rows of trees, like well planted. It doesn't, once you start looking at it, like it's not as chaotic or as random as a forest would be. And you stand on a cobblestone path that leads up to a giant tree, twisted and full of branches. And at the base of it is a door. The door is a circular wooden door, like a hobbit hole, and it bears the Biotechnica symbol on it.
Okay.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
Okay. You also notice that you're not alone in here. There are other netrunners, other people that are visiting the Biotechnica campus without trying to, well, they're not actively trying to ruin anything, so you don't know what they're up to. But you're not the only person to be connected to this access point at the moment.
Okay. Can I tell if there's any obvious security just immediately in the area? Like, should I just run ID?
Yes, you can run ID on the lobby if you wish.
Okay.
And I'm going to scramble to get to my page.
Yeah, I don't have any of my stuff, so I'm trying to... Should I just look up the net running stuff again?
Oh, well, ID is just a interface check. Unless you have a specific program, every action you want to take is interface. and then programs will help you either do something or
Yeah, I got a 6.
you
Nothing
have
fancy.
a 6. You notice that there are several bees,
Like buzz bees.
like buzz bees, a few strategically placed beehives in the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And you would know, as a netrunner, that one of the most basic anti-personnel black ice software is is normally called an asp, which is the snake. But in this case, yeah, they've probably been modified a bit and changed by whatever netrunner programmed them into the wasps.
The wasps. Yes.
Yeah.
Download the PDF so I can start looking at stuff. So, what was I going to say? With the number of people here, it would be hard to just start looking around, like seriously beyond. Like, what are these people doing exactly in this lobby?
Some of them are just walking around, just looking at stuff. You notice that a few people are making copies of the layout of the lobby. Others are actually walking up to the door, and then the moment they touch the door, they disappear. Aside from the variety of different avatars that you notice of these guests that would happen to visit, there are 2 armored guards. They look like medieval, fully plated knights.
Oh.
They're just walking around, the 2 of them separate, one on each side of the path. From time to time, they approach a netrunner. They would just look at them and then leave. Like they're probably IDing people. They've left you alone for now because you're not moving, you haven't done anything, so you're just there.
Yeah. Since I am connected through Armstrong's access point, essentially, can I use that to spoof my ID, basically?
Yes, if you look down at yourself, your avatar and everything, you actually do not appear as your regular avatar, but you appear as Armstrong's avatar.
Okay.
Who is a muscular man dressed like Tarzan.
Great.
With but even with like
Armstrong.
the stereotypical like jaguar print sort of sash and loincloth. Yeah. You
Nice.
look like a comical version of Tarzan, not the Disney one.
This guy's real lonely. Okay. So, in that case, I'm going to approach the door that people have disappeared into and see if it lets me through.
It does. When you enter the tree, you find yourself in a lobby. It's like out of game, the same description I gave of the lobby to Zach and Tracy earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of being like white walls and such, it's like wooden walls.
Okay.
But it's the same shape.
Got
really,
it.
the entire tree seems to have from the inside the same shape as the Biotechnica tower.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. What is in this area? Is it just more doors, essentially?
There is a giant book in front of, not in front of, but laid on the receptionist desk. Behind the receptionist desk and this book, there is a staircase, like it's been carved from the like core of the tree
Mhm.
together, and it's a spiral staircase that leads up to other floors.
Okay. Okay. What's in the book as I approach it? What does it have in there?
It is a register of visitors, the publicly available plans of the office. So like where certain areas are, like, oh, this is where you're gonna find like the cafeteria, the elevators, the bathroom, blah blah blah. And there is an entire help file on like if you're looking for someone specific, if you have like questions or what have you, the avatar of the receptionists will be summoned.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, she's gonna copy the layout that's available publicly and save it to memory so she can access it whenever she's kind of walking around.
Could you make an interface check?
Yeah.
DC 6.
Wait, what was the last part?
6.
Oh, the DC. Yeah. 9.
Very good. Not unless you fumbled, it was easy enough for you to just take a copy of the book.
Okay.
And you notice that none of the netrunners that are in here, or none of the visitors, I should say, because they're not necessarily netrunners, none of them have tried to go for the staircase.
Okay. Are there any notable avatars, or are they all kind of pretty generic looking?
Define generic looking on the internet.
I mean, like the cyber girl, cyber guy thing. Like, is there anybody that like is embodying like a creature or something unique, really?
Most of the avatars that would belong to like the corporate stooges, they're not that imaginative. Like, I mean, look at Armstrong.
Right.
It's fairly obvious that he just took his last name and made an avatar with it.
Yeah.
Ran with it. Others are kind of like that. You have a few that are, that have adopted the most recent like hot trends in avatar add-ons and stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, this person clearly paid like $15 to have, I don't know, like weird lit up hair. Or oh yeah, there's a movie that came out recently about I don't know, superheroes, and one of them is wearing that cape from that movie. Like, it's just, they're not actually, like, they're not real. They're lacking this, I don't know. They like have this outsider perspective on what it is.
Okay.
And you, of course, appear like just about everybody else. Like,
yeah.
Very generic looking. And there are no guards in the lobby.
Okay. Well, based on the layout that I downloaded, what can I expect to go if I go up these stairs?
So if you go up these stairs, you know that starting from the 3rd level and after, this is all off limits to visitors. And even to Armstrong, you do not have the proper permissions to get there. However, you can get to the 2nd floor. The 2nd floor has access to a few basic services. You have like the internal communications. So if you want to call one of the employees like internally, just using their extension number instead of ringing them through the desk at the reception, it is protected, that you would know, by a wisp. Wasps and wisps, which is a fairly basic anti-personnel software. What it does really is, aside from giving you a headache, it lowers the amount of actions you can take. So it slows down the netrunner, so that probably the actual netrunners that are in charge of this architecture can come and take a look at what's happening.
So I would know that they have those.
You would know that they have those on the 2nd floor. And third floor and above. Oh, you also know that there are 11 floors in
It's
all.
11.
Yeah. And you have
Anything
access
from
to
3
one
and
and two.
above, yeah, is off limits. Okay. In that case, I'm gonna activate Speedy for my +2, just straight up. I'm just gonna res that. And I am going to go up to the 2nd floor.
When you arrive on the 2nd floor, you see this. This room is basically like a library. Each book is the name of an employee or a department. Each shelf is a department. Each book is an employee. Some of the books have been burnt when the employees has been fired or worse.
How literal.
Yeah.
Love it.
And there is a floating mote of light that scans the area, the wisp, and moves, between the shelves, and is just like constantly on patrol. You're allowed to be here. If you touch a book, it removes itself from the shelf, flips open, and you will notice like everything that this employee from an IT perspective, like what are the softwares that they have, what are the permissions that they currently have, if they have any like pending tickets for support or whatever. And you can, by touching these pages, you can alter certain things. But again, you get the feeling that you'll be limited in what you can do because of Armstrong's like permissions.
Yes, except for she's going to walk over to the HR area and look for Linda.
Linda in HR. There's the book.
Okay. And I look through all of her permissions. Based on the information there, would I have access to the upper levels?
Linda in HR has access to the 3rd level. And you notice she has access to level 3A, but not 3B.
Okay. HR. Who would be above Linda? Is she like the kind of director level, or is there people beyond that?
There might be people above her. You get the feeling that HR is limited. Like the way this architecture is built, is probably that HR has access to like a certain amount of things. If you could know what's above these things, like who else would have access to information that HR should not have access to?
Like the regional manager.
Something like that. Like if you were able to, because you get the feeling that it's not a proper like straight hierarchy. So that some people that you think, like maybe even the CEO, he probably doesn't have access to the entire 11 floors. So it really is a question of like, who are you trying to get, and where can they go? You can spend a lot of time in the library just looking at every book if you want to. I'll remind you that in the net, you act 3 times as fast as normal.
Right.
So if you spend a half hour in the net, that's only 10 minutes in real life.
Yeah, true. I think she'll probably spend a bit of time getting to know some of the key players at Biotechnica. This is the first time she's really even gotten to see names really beyond like the public figures and stuff. So definitely HR related stuff. She'll kind of peruse a little bit on that front. And then I think she would actually go over to the like the med tech / lab stuff to see if there's any notable people there that might have access to different levels that could be, contain the information about the nanobots.
You find there's 2 very interesting things that you find when you're rooting through HR. You find Jules' HR file.
Oh. I'm going to read it.
You open the book, and most of Jules' file is redacted.
Huh.
She works in R&D, and apparently R&D is something completely different. HR has access to a lot of things, however, but not like the precise names of projects she's been on, or even her direct um, uh, manager.
Mm-hmm.
However, you notice that she has a few strikes on her file, and not necessarily for they're for frivolities, really. She was late one day that
Mm-hmm.
counted as a strike. She was late by like 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was another strike recently where she used company property to associate with local lowlifes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wonder who
so
those
it's
are.
a smear on the company's reputation. Um, and other stuff like that. There's this one time when she left her TV on at her apartment and a movie played, and the movie is on the list of unapproved movies by Biotechnica. And it's not a like
Smart.
mature movie. It's not porn or anything like that, but it's like a movie that like probably paints Biotechnica in a bad light.
Plus. Okay.
Hmm?
Nothing.
Okay. So
Okay, so does it show what kind of access levels she has as far as the net goes?
yeah, Jewel has access to level 1
Mm-hmm. That's
and
it.
redacted.
Oh, redacted. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Um,
Let's.
your redacted, you would know enough though because you took a copy of the plans and everything that the redacted that she has access to is in seems to be in another network
Okay.
that you could
Its own
probably
network.
establish a bridge from
Mhm.
this architecture to the other, but you would need to figure out where this specific area for the bridge is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um. Okay.
Mr. Cook was in there too.
Yeah.
Again, his personal file. Uh, before I go back to Cook, though, for a moment, everything that is in R&D itself, the entire shelf for R&D, is empty.
Interesting.
So HR has access to like HR related things about the employees,
Uh-huh.
but nothing else.
Okay.
Um, Cook, you would notice, has access to level 3A,
But not 3B.
but not 3B.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, 3B, you figure it out after a while. The janitors have access to 3B and nothing else.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Interesting.
And then going through everything, the leader of HR has access to like 1, 2, 3, except 3B, of course. And for some reason, 4B4. But she cannot get to it. Like she has access, but she needs to be escorted by a netrunner.
Oh. Hmm. Interesting. We're all taking mental notes of this. Well, Proxy is. I want to before we switch over. I just want to look at any of the books that are burned.
When you open them up, there's very little information left on file. Most of the information says to look up the internal database
Mm-hmm.
for prior misdemeanors, prior mistakes, or prior achievements. All of them actually, all of the burnt books on the cover, you have like in red letters, like burnt into the cover, the reason for the termination. Insubordination is the most popular.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have theft of company equipment. And a few others are performance related issues.
Okay.
They don't state exactly what it is, but the employee wasn't performing to whatever expectations they had.
Which department has the most burnt books?
Oh, the most burnt books is in manufacturing.
Mm,
They have a turnaround that is insane. There's more burnt books than regular books.
wow.
And even while you're looking, at some point you notice one of the book just burnt.
Wow, ruthless here.
They do not seem to care about these employees.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
looking at the burnt books in this section, it's all performance related issues.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I think she's just gonna note this information and go back to the stairs.
Okay.
And we can pause on my
Yeah.
stuff again.
We're going to go back to meat space as the interview is approaching its end. Blah, blah, blah. He talks about the organic food and everything and says, "This is the plan that we had in mind for you, Mr. Magnus. I will not mince words." And he looks at the mountain of muscle in the corner. The guy just nods. "We are ready to offer you a golden opportunity. You would helm your own team of no more than 4 employees, and we would put you in R&D with this simple task of finding this missing piece for our hybrid organic program. We're expecting a regular work week of 48 hours a week. You would get a bonus, a sign-on bonus as a team leader of 12,000 euro bucks yearly. Starting salary is 30,000. And you would know, Magnus, this is not living wage. Like, it's living wage for a year because of that bonus. But otherwise, they're making you work like 6 days, 8 hours a day for something for a third of what you could make as an actual doctor. And even right now, probably just about the same that you make as a Ripper Doc.
Well, your aspirations are very admirable. I would say that there's a lot that we can agree on, Mr. Cook. Um, would you permit me some time to think on your offer and also to consult my associates, friends, and family and such?
He says, absolutely. This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Um, if you want some time to think about it, and he points to the other man, can leave the room. The man just nods no. He says, oh, I can leave the room so you can confer with Jewel.
You're saying a decision needs to be made today.
And it's the first time the other man, like, actually strings more than 2 words back to back. And he says, you've been made aware of very sensitive Biotechnica information. You
What if I
cannot
say
go
no?
out in the public. He stretches a bit just so you can see the holster through his clothes a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Well, how did you hear about me, Mr. Cook? Why am I even being brought here?
Oh. Let me be honest with you. you were not the first person we approached. We have approached many different candidates over the last few months, almost a year now.
Sure.
No one quite had this skill in not only growing organic food in a highly unstable environment, as we can all agree, Night City is not the ideal place to grow a garden.
Hmm.
But also, you have knowledge of the human body, which a lot of the others gardeners did not. You, I figure, with all of your medical knowledge and your green thumb, could probably ensure that what we grow here at Biotechnica does not negatively impact our buyers. And as for how we singled you out, well, one of our employees who lives in a rather unsavory part of town saw that people were heading to an empty parking lot, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And when questioned, they mentioned that there was an invisible doctor there.
Yeah, you can stop there. All right. I'll tell you what, Mr. Cook. You've spent this time laying out to me how important this is to Biotechnica. And I assume it is important to you, is it not, Mr. Cook?
Make a human perception check. Both you and Jewel, if you want. Because his demeanor changes when you hit on that note.
Mm-hmm. Found it.
Oh,
Nice. I say that and we both stare into his
Yeah.
soul.
Jewel, you remember the ultimatum he gave you? Yeah, he probably received the same. And now that Magnus is like tugging at that specific string, he does not like it.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like that despite the obvious threat of death, Magnus doesn't cave in.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice that, Magnus. Like he tried to strong arm you into accepting whatever, and he doesn't feel comfortable with you just for a moment showing that you have that you have willpower, that you're not going to bend.
Well, it doesn't.
Perhaps we can tell Magnus about all of the other great things that come with Biotechnica, the benefits, the perks of working here. There are, of course, access to the highest tech that you can think of for your medical practices and for obviously the more botanical side of things. I assume that Magnus would also get access to our clothes and living situation, the same that somebody like me would have.
Oh, it goes without saying that a position such as the one that Mr. Magnus would have here at Biotechnica would of course qualify him for a con-apt. And he looks at at Magnus's clothes and a new wardrobe.
Of course. All right, I have one simple question at the moment. How many times or how many more times of quality, do you believe Biotechnica is better than, let's say, a street level doctor or Ripper Doc or someone like these people you've brought in before? Maybe didn't have very high qualifications. What you guys accomplish here at Biotechnica as a company, what rate, how much better would you say you are as a company? I would imagine quite much so, right?
Oh yes, we have state of the art infrastructure and our labs.
Would you
Honestly,
say
we are
around like 4 times as good as the quality that someone on the street level or gangs would have access to?
Oh, no. 4 times is not enough.
No.
It cannot be counted. It cannot be measured. We pride ourselves at Biotechnica, and that's when the mountain man just goes and Cook darts a glance in his direction and just sits back down and says, "Yes, we have better accommodations."
So saying 4 times as good would be a vast underestimation.
Yes.
All right. You're offering me 30,000, and that's currently what I'm making on the street. So if my work is worth 4 times as much, or you just said a few moments ago infinitely as much, but I'll forget that you said that. 120,000 sounds a bit more up my alley. And unless you, sure, I mean, with this guy here, and I gesture over to the guard in the corner, he's here to do his job. You could bring me on for 30,000, but there's nothing saying that I have to actually enjoy what I'm doing or want to find success while working under your name.
He grabs his data pad and says, "Let me go confer with finances. I think we can reach an amount that is agreeable to both you and Biotechnica."
Thank
and
you.
he leaves the room, shuts the door behind him. The big man shifts
he's still
from
there?
one foot to the other. Yeah, and
I
he's still
say-
looking at you.
Ever seen something like that in an interview before?
No.
No. Well, yeah, I'm sure you haven't. I'm sure you haven't, Jewel. But I was talking at the guy.
Normally, they say yes.
You ever had anyone say no?
He lifts the sleeve of his suit, and you notice there's a number of etches of bars tattooed on his arm. There's about 22 of them.
Nice. You know, I hope you don't run out of room someday.
I have another arm.
Yeah, but
That's why people should say yes.
Sure you don't want any grapes? There's some strawberries. They're kind of under there, you know.
Make a persuasion. Persuasion or conversation?
Okay.
Your choice.
I'll take persuasion.
All right.
13.
Yeah, he eyes the salad again. And he breaks character. And you hear him say, "I've never had a strawberry before."
Oh.
But like the tone with which he says it is not like the muscle that you saw earlier. It's like it's an 8-year-old kid
Mm.
who just like found like, you know, the wonders of the world. He's about to eat a strawberry. This man is in his 40s. He doesn't know what strawberries taste like. Well, he has an idea because red flavor. But
does he
it's-
approach, or is he?
Oh, yeah,
does he
yeah,
say
yeah.
that? Okay.
he says it and then, you know, takes a step or two and then, you know, bends down to
Yeah.
pick up the
If you
bowl.
feel like you're gonna get in trouble, you could just say, you know, you're ensuring the safety of the interview and the people in it, you know, including yourself. I promise they're not poison. See? And I grab one and I take the one that he grabbed that he was about to eat and I eat it. Sorry, but you get my point. There you go. There's another one right there.
Takes it. And he takes a bite. Mm. 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 It's good.
Yes.
And he takes the other bite, and that's when we're gonna enact our other corruption bar.
Oh
What?
As he chokes on his strawberry.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
And
I am a
that's where
doctor.
we're gonna end.
Yeah.
Ah,
this
shit.
game.
No,
Okay.
no. We have a doctor.
Yes. Oh my god. It's like that we hear him start to choke and then it cuts back to
Yeah.
Magnus and Jewel and then the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme starts
Yeah.
playing and the credits roll. Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That's great.
No, that's an awful ending, Simon. Fuck.
That's a
Okay.
wonderful ending.
Okay. All right. Great. Wow. That was something. Jesus. Everything was going so well. Oh,
Thanks for
man.
the corruption bars, everybody.
Yeah, right. Thank you so much. That was so
I mean,
awesome. I much appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was episode 6, I believe, of Cyberpunk Phoenix, where we're fine. Everything's fine. This is fine. Let's go around, do our introductions, get the hell out of here, and shoot our after show for the patrons. If you guys want that, access to the Patreon, link down below. While you're down there, join us in the Discord, be a part of the conversation, be a part of the show. And if you are watching this over on the YouTubes, we stream this live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, so come over to hang out with us on Twitch and participate live. That being said, we will start with Tracy. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hello, everybody. I am Tracy, also known as Miss MageTech on the internet. And you can find me everywhere as Miss MageTech. I stream on Twitch, usually around on the weekends. And I also play tabletop all over. So when I'm not here on Wednesdays, I play VTM. On Saturdays, roll for it. I am in a Pathfinder podcast right now. I occasionally run my own one-shots on my channel, whether it be D&D or Cyberpunk Red or other things like that. So if you're into all of that, feel free to give me a follow. I also make YouTube content occasionally. I'm starting up a new Witcher series soon where I talk about the Witcher books, and I'm very excited to just kind of revisit the books and just talk about them in like a YouTube official format. So that'll be fun. A book club, basically. So yeah, that's me. That's all that I do.
Hell yeah. We'll drop right over to Meta. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Hello, I am that answer. This is where you can find me. Bye-bye.
That's it. Zach, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
I'm Zach Clay, the Zach of many trades, so-called. I also do all of these things that these people have described, like streaming and YouTubing and et cetera, et cetera. So just, you know, if you think you want to see that, look up my name. Other people might come up. I think there's a soccer player. I don't know. But eventually you'll find me. And then you'll see YouTube videos and a Twitch stream. And then, you know, some stuff like that. RPG stuff, Afro. You get the gist.
We gotta
That's
work
me.
on your SEO, bud.
I do.
And last but not least, Simon, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Simon at Wandering DM. You can find me every Wednesday here for Cyberpunk Phoenix. On Thursdays, I helm a show on Sirenscape, which is about Cyberpunk 2. It's called Cyberpunk Out on a Limb. We're almost through. I think we're at our 5th or 6th episode already. But you can definitely jump in and check it out. The cast is amazing. The GM is wonderful. And we have tons of giveaways if you want more Cyberpunk in your life. On Fridays, it's on my channel, twitch.tv/wanderingdm. We play Cyberpunk Red again. And it's the continuation of the campaign that we started over a year ago. So you might as well stop by and enjoy the ride. On Saturdays at 1 p.m., I'm over on Level Up TTV to play some Scion. Then on Sundays, I'm on Praxagorithis channel on Twitch playing Romance of the Blue Rose, which is a romantic fantasy game. It is awesome. Then on Mondays, over on my channel again at 8:30 p.m., we play Rime of the Frost Maiden, our Icewind Dale campaign, which some people have said in my YouTube comments that it is the best actual play of Rime of the Frost Maiden they've ever seen. I'm just quoting a commenter.
Oh,
Heck yeah.
Okay.
And that's it. Otherwise, the game that I'm working on, Vampire the Masquerade Chapters, is still in pre-order if you would like to get your hands on it. I believe the pre-orders end in a week, so make sure to snag it while you can, because it will not be available in retail.
All right. With that, that's it. That's it for us. We're out of here. We're going to go do our after show again over on Patreon. Link for that down below. So from all of us to you guys, we will see you next week for more net running, because Simon just put in chat there's 11 floors. So get wrecked, the whole internet. We'll see you guys next week. So from all of us to you, bye-bye.